Hey up guys and welcome back to the York City Save, where we are on the horizon of an FA Trophy final. York are no strangers to this particular final, having won it very recently in fact. 2017, yeah, only 3 years ago in game, so, well, in real life. I suspect that was when they were a Vanarama normal team, before they got relegated again. But of course 4 games played in the league, won all of them, 4-1, mad game this one. There was only 1 goal in the game until the 75th minute and it ended up 4-1. But there were big injuries to Callum Griffiths, an injury to Moke, a missed penalty involved. I think there was actually technically a 3rd injury, but it's not showing up on here. It was, everything happened in that match. It was absolutely crazy, and I'm very glad it was the one at the start of April, because obviously this final is in the middle of May, so it's almost a full month between the last game and the FA Trophy final. So any injuries in this period, long since sorted out by the final here. Been injuries since, but everything that's happened in these games basically has already sorted itself out. 2-1 here against Gloucester. It was looking fairly comfortable. They got a very, very late consolation in that one. 1-0, kind of dull, against Kettering. And then 4-1 on the final day. We did actually go down to the team bottom of the table. We were 1-0 down for about 20 minutes, and then we won 4-1. So we're finally getting a much-deserved hat-trick for his season's efforts at the very, very end of it. So that's all wonderful for him. Which does mean Leamington were promoted, by the way. Kidderminster didn't even finish second in the end of this, which is absolutely mad. We do technically, well, actually end up 28 points clear of second place. Considering Kidderminster were top at one point, the fact we ended 29 points ahead of them is absolutely mad. But Gloucester and Bradford PA relegated. Boston survive somehow, despite how awful their season was. 3 players at the top of the average ratings, top of the assist list, top 3 in the yellow cards. Not sure I should be proud of that one, but player of the match 7 times, Kempster. Yeah, he only got 18 goals in the league. He is 4th on this, by the way. We do feature a little bit more in that list as you go down it. Burrow, Nacelles there, Lopez is there, McFarlane's there in the end, of course, 3 for him. Kind of spreaded the goals out basically. For a lad with 5 strength, it's very surprising he never got injured. How amazing is he, by the way? Just want to point that out. How far apart he is from any other central midfielder is incredible. I think he might actually be League 1 quality, I think it said at one point. Yeah, it's daft that he's with us. So, Ebbsfleet now. Oh, worth noting, next year we will be joined by Morecambe, who have been relegated from League 2. So, Leamington and York come up, Morecambe come down, and that's where that is. Of course, we won't be facing Notts County next year again, because they did get promoted in the very end. Ended up only 11 points clear, despite being 17 at the point where we last looked. Bromley, who are 5th, ended up promoted, which means we will have to face Fylde next year, and we will have to face our current opponents, Ebbsfleet, in the Vanarama National League next year. And of course, Solihull Moors, who we faced in the FA Cup on our way through to the first round as well. They're still sat there, and Sutton, who we faced slightly earlier in the FA Trophy. All those still remain in this division, only Notts County we don't get to fight again for now. But, as you see here, injuries to Peter Jameson. You've not seen him all season. He's the goalkeeper, in case you've forgotten that name already. Dorrell, a doubt. There is actually a worse doubt than this one missing, and that is Jordan Burrow, who picked up an injury. Returning to full fitness imminently. Annoyingly, not imminently enough. Now, the one I picked up before this match, just then, Nacelles, who hasn't been injured all season. And to be honest, I don't even remember seeing this injury happen in my newsfeed at all. Yeah, he's returning to full fitness. I'm not sure what he was injured by. I'm not sure what happened. But he has to play because, well, you've seen his stats. Can't believe there's still only 5 substitutes for the final of this, by the way. I really want to put Steve on the bench, but I just can't justify it. Yeah, Dorrell's injury, by the way, does mean York has to be on the bench, which is almost fitting, I guess. I think he's played like 2 matches this season, but York on the bench for York, it has to be, really. One thing I do need to highlight right now is that a fair few of our contracts did run. Basically, everyone who I started the season with, contracts ran out at the end of this year. So take a good long look at this list, because half of them probably won't be here next year. Some people I won't be renewing their contract. Some people I already have. Why we are suddenly £250,000 in debt because we didn't have any income for a month and I've had to pay everyone money. But of course, everyone that we signed at the start of this year, including players like Lopez and Nacelles, they're here till 2021 anyway, so we don't need to renew their contracts. But a few have been renewed. I'm fairly certain I've renewed Moke, Ferguson, Dyer, and McFarlane. The big one who I haven't renewed is Alex Kempster's, because he wanted about 1.3 thousand. I may have mentioned this last episode. He wanted 1.3k a week, I think it was, and he wouldn't budge any lower than that. So he just rejected the contract. When our star player is on £1,100, can't really justify Alex Kempster, who has these stats, is 3.5 stars, apparently, but when he's got these stats compared to Nacel's these stats, can't really justify paying him more than Nacel. He's probably not going to be here next year. So he may have got player of the division, which is something he did get. I can't justify keeping him around next year, which is so unfortunate. I don't know why he can be reasonable. He's only on £500 this year. I don't know why he had such a massive jump. I know he did really well, but I don't know why he's leapt up that much in his demands. It is kind of ridiculous. But his position has been strengthened anyway, so... Thank you, Premier League clubs, by the way, for releasing your players. I have stolen 4 of you already, and that will be a transfer special next time round, because we will have to talk about the outs, and we will have to talk about the ins, probably in its own separate episode next time round, because there's probably going to be a lot of them. So the team for the FA Trophy final is Wright in goal, as he has been all season. Thankfully, he's never taken an injury, by the way. The backups have, but he hasn't. Ferguson, Romano, Boom. Dyer on the right seems to be edging Griffiths in general. Griffiths isn't even on the bench. Nope. Kempster, Green, Nacel, Moke on the right, Lopez and Mofana. So this is, strictly speaking, our absolute first team. No injuries to the actual first team. Just Nacel returning to full fitness. It says he's returning to full fitness. He does have 83% match sharpness. It's not like he's been out of the game for a while, like Moke has. So hopefully he'll be fine. Oh, let's not be on attacking, by the way. Off we go. 2 banks of 4-4-2 facing off against each other. Not the most ambitious from both managers here. I mean, I know I've done it deliberately. I've done it deliberately because I figured no point getting complicated in this division. I don't even know what I said on that first stage of that, but Passion of Faith has sorted the rest of that, and they actually are playing with a genuinely injured player. So that bodes well for us, and as I suspected, their team is absolutely fine. They have obviously played playoff matches, Ebbsfleet, because they were in that playoff picture for the Vanarama. However, though, they did not progress through that, and that means everyone's fine for this particular game, as this is the most thrilling cup final you'll see. I mean, after the last 2 rounds, I will take a fairly quiet final, but considering this is going to be the only game in this particular episode, I would like a little bit more entertainment, please. Half an hour gone, Adu Pepra passes that forward to J. Clark. I know that's not going to be obviously Tottenham's Clark, but right, not entirely Jordan Clark, that is, has to go from a tight angle, and it doesn't even go out until Ferguson smashes it out for his own whim. It was a very interesting save because it looked like he saved it on his left-hand side but managed to parry it to his right, which was probably the best way you could have done that, because it didn't even push it into anyone's path, as we've actually been disciplined for the first time this season, and they haven't. I mean, I don't even know what to say at this point. I'm happy with the performance. Rationally say, this is a special day for the supporters. It is, kind of, I suppose. This is Wembley, for crying out loud. Maybe we'll actually see more than one highlight in the second half. But both of their fullbacks have been booked, so I wish only one of them had been booked, because I might have focused play down one particular side. And it takes another 30 minutes for another highlight. I mean, I do really hope this isn't going to be the general play of things. This is a highlight every half an hour in-game. Lopez charges forward. He's at a very tight angle. I suspect he's going to go for this himself. He does. Oh, they said they fixed that. They said they fixed that. Although, that wasn't the end of the highlight, which, oh, God. Well, that was kind of bad. But, okay, fairly even game so far. Half an hour, less than half an hour to go. No one's actually playing super badly, and everyone is still very relatively fit. So I don't really see the need to make a change just yet. I'm going to go slightly more positive. I'm going to push them a little bit more further forward as a result, as another one of their players gets booked. Their entire team feels like it's booked right now. I almost feel like we should pressure them. I mean, I can't pressure them anymore. We're on max press. But I kind of really want to... Particularly that Traore. I wish we could... Oh, never mind. Well, Harry Wright has stood up to that one very wonderfully, as he always does. I say as he always does. He had absolute nightmares against File, but Clark swings this corner in, Boom's under it. Hawk will gather, but it is a highlight from a corner, so I'm not expecting too much at this stage. Kempster, 2 feet clear, please. Lopez actually gets on the end of this, and, well, I do wonder if this highlight is going to run out now. Oh! Traore's gone in on him. No, I thought that was about to be a sending off highlight. It was not. But everyone's still above 70%. I don't want to take anyone off. And as Traore actually does get finally properly injured, was a risk to play him in the beginning for them, as we pressured them and gathered the ball. Green has actually done the ball-winning midfielder role properly for once. He has ball-wins that ball. Phrasing. I thought those highlights were done with. I thought we were done with this highlight. So much from patches. Well, this is going to go to extra time. No, it isn't. Maybe. Who knows? Sutherland. Well, the game does, because obviously it's predicting all this. But Sutherland back on the ball again. King. You worry about the... Oh, no, that should be our ball. Dyer. Oh, I say it should be our ball. Oh, God. What was that touch, Dyer? I mean, Clark's at a very narrow angle. If he scored from there, it'd be very... Don't know why Boom smashed it backwards. Kick it forwards at the very least, Boom. I mean, I know it's your name, but I don't know what to do with my hand right now. I'm halfway between leaning down because I'm expecting something to come from this corner and just, admitting that there's a corner. And that probably nothing's going to happen. Extra time. Extra time, probably. Wilson keeps it in. Oh, Lopez wasn't really quick enough to get that off him. Why is this continuing? Why is this... I think if a highlight is near the end of a game, it does continue. What are you doing, Dyer? Why have you just let him have that again? Yeah. I think if there is just like a normal highlight just before the end of the game, it will just stretch it out until it gets to the end, as extra time is happening now. Assertively say, dig in. I'm sort of disappointed. Like, we haven't really seen anything from our team highlight-wise, but on paper, we actually are getting slightly more behind on this. So, but their defensive line is so they're not tired. Their defensive line is booked, so I'm going to go attacking in this extra time period. Problem here is Moke, the one person who I don't have a backup for, is the one who is playing the worst, apparently. I almost don't want to make any changes still, because everyone's still fit, and this is, of course, our best 11 on paper. So, don't know why I really feel like I should... Oh, McFarlane has... Ooh, nabbed that, and the goalie's done well. He's tipped it over, but I wish we would stop shooting from that kind of angle. I know it's a thing for the game, but no one's there. McFarlane will get the ball, though. Gives it out to Moke. I'm not expecting much. It is a corner, of course, but... Boom, will regather. No, there we are. One of their strikers is on a 5.6, and I'm not entirely certain why. It's not like there's been a penalty that he's missed. King by Abbey. Clark. Oh, God, that was wonderfully worked. We got dragged out there. Egan, spread yourself wide. Harry Wright. Yes. Harry Wright. Well done, Harry Wright. Honestly, obviously as good as Nacelle is, Harry Wright was absolutely, for 95% of the season, the best signing we did. King has got this ball, though, on their far side. We've got 3 of them hunting him down. Robbed by Kempster, and I'm slightly worried by sending off here. No, we're good. Oh, well, that was the end of that. Okay, players starting to get a little bit tired as we rush towards extra time part 2. There's a highlight immediately, but I am now going to make changes. Whether or not we go through them is a different question. Moke booked, Kempster's booked, but for curiosity, penalty taking 4. I think he's only 7. Oh, I don't know, I'm looking. I've got them on the list here. McLaughlin has 14 penalty taking. So McLaughlin for Kieran Green at some point might be a sensible thing to do. Obviously, Newton on for one of the defenders at one point. Towards the end will be a sensible thing to do as well. In fact, Andy Bond on at one point would also be great. He's got 11. I don't know what to do. This is the problem. I don't know what to do. I mean, I can bring Newton on for Ferguson now, because Ferguson is on 71. He's not actually that bad. I actually don't know what to do here. Ferguson has been booked, though, so I am going to make that change now. I think it's the only one I'm going to do. But there's a highlight immediately from this extra time kickoff. So if we can get the ball off them now, that'll be wonderful news. It's gone back to their goalie. No one's hunting him down. Oh, now someone's hunting him down. But that's been sprayed out wide to Clark, who has managed to gather that wonderfully, as always. Boom. Boom's by Abbey get onto this, I suspect. No. Oh, a superb slide tackle, which did worry me for a second because Boom is booked. But that's sprayed out to Moke, who doesn't get onto it. I'm not sure who actually got under it, but doesn't matter. They get the ball. Boom. We've now got the ball. As that gone through to them again, but Lopez, no, that's got through to James in the very end of this. That's where this highlight is going. It's a wonderful save once again. James would have been pushed out. He's not going to get on the end of this. Worries me. I do suspect the shot was the main part of that. To throw in, that was very close to being a corner. Green's now been booked, so that gives me the very, very good excuse to take him off. Coughlin on for Green, as this is likely going to go to penalties. I will wait to the very, very last second to make any other changes. Andy Bond can do right back, and he's obviously a better penalty taker than Dyer is. Which does leave Dan Maguire, who I don't really have an excuse to bring on. Just defend Bond, it's fine. As this rockets towards penalties. It is penalties. So I did the best thing I could there. Could have taken one of the defenders off for Maguire, but didn't really see the need to. But I have put on our best 3 penalty takers. So, Bond, Newton. Composure is also part of this, actually. So I think I'll put McFarlane 3rd. I'll end with Lopez, I think, who has 14 composure. So Newton in there. And then Lopez, who has the highest composure, to be 5th. There we are. Oh, pause. Director. There we are. So, penalties it is. Can't believe this went down to penalties, but McLaughlin still hasn't scored a penalty in a penalty shootout. Scores them all in the main game. I don't think he's missed one in the actual main, season, as they go 1-0 up. Happened against Notts County. He didn't score against Notts County either, did McLaughlin. Bond now, though, who has been on for about 5 minutes, scores. His only useful contribution all season. By Abbey. Oh, this is where we needed Steve. I wish we put Steve on the bench now. But By Abbey now steps up, and Harry Wright catches it. Holds it close. Not even just a save. He just holds that one. Like a newborn baby. No. McFarlane. Your turn. Hat-trick on the final day of the season. Makes it 2-1. This is now technically even again because we went first. King to level things up once more. Rolls up his socks and prepares for the spot kick. Scores. 2-2. My heart is pounding. My heart is pounding right now. Newton. Again, another player brought on during injury time. For this reason alone. Oh, my lord. He hit that so fast, the goalie didn't even react. He sent that to a different dimension, I think. I almost flinched myself. And, he does get... I think he does touch it, but he doesn't save it properly. Juanito Lopez. Taking the 5th one because of his composure. Please have your composure right now. 4-3. Justified decisions. As this penalty shootout has gone just like the entire match. It's just gone. As we're already at a deciding penalty. Wilson. None of the players got sent off, by the way. Which is, I find very remarkable. The rate they were picking up yellow cards, I'm very surprised none of them got sent off. 4-4. I know I highlighted that penalty shootout for that whichever game it was. I think it was the Kidderminster Farsley one, wasn't it? The Cell buries his penalty. Yes. Which went on for about 9th. What are they doing in the background, by the way? Why are they doing like airplane things? We've not won yet. As there's another long run up again. Because, then again, it's another deciding penalty. The pressure is all on Ebbsfleet for this. James steps up and misses entirely. We have won the FA Trophy. There we are. Look, there we are. You didn't get to see this when we won the league. I don't think even I got to see this when we won the league because we were away when we did it. But I'm not sure if they even do that then. But there we are. There's me completely blending in because I don't wear a suit properly. I hate suits, by the way, just in general. I hate formal wear in general. Just there's no point. Why is it a thing? Why is formal wear a thing? Like, why can't we just wear whatever we want? It doesn't affect my job performance. Sorry, just general rant there, but yeah, trophy time. I apologise for that statement. Passionately say, congratulations, boys. You enjoy these moments. You deserve it. Goodbye in about a month. So, celebrated double, of course, winning the league and that. Only won it 3 years ago. Of course, Fylde were the holders from last year. Didn't even recognise that before we beat them. York received 60k for winning that. Helpful. Medals for FA Trophy win. All these players played. Praised by the York supporters. Thank you very much. Board very much happy with that. Stuart Pearce took several questions about playing rivals and player injuries. Stuart Pearce is the manager of Ebbsfleet. Alright then. What do you mean? Troyer always an unfortunate casualty against a York team. He was injured before he started the match. Why are you putting that on me? It's your fault for putting him on the pitch in the first place. Kidderminster are apparently the biggest overachievers despite the fact that we won it. And they're in the same division. Sometimes this game does baffle me. By the way, how are Kidderminster biggest overachievers? AFC Telford got to the same stage as them. And they are a worse team than Kidderminster. As Newcastle get relegated. Wonderful. Wait, is this a thing that's actually in real life? 2019. Don't know if this is something that's occurred in the game or not, but Robbie Fowler has entered the Australian Hall of Fame. I love these baffling things, like bonkers, bizarre things that FM throws out every now and then. Also, I don't know why I'm not doing interviews. How do you feel about Stuart Pearce accusing you of unprofessional behaviour in the build-up to the match? Considering nobody asked me any questions in the build-up to the match, I'm not sure how I can be accused of unprofessional behaviour. And the inevitable question about the injury thing, it's laughable because it is genuinely laughable. I'm intrigued to know what the gate receipts were, by the way, as that actually nullifies the majority of our balance. Gate receipts were £243,000 for that one match. By the way, our wage budget next year is actually reasonable. We've got quite a bit of a gap to bring in players if we need to, considering we're going to lose some as well. We'll actually have a fair amount to work with. Transfer budget, but wage budget, absolutely fine. Considering we're going to be signing free players for the most part, I would imagine. So the last thing to do is the general season overall thing. Obviously, players who played very rarely in big game wins at the top, but Alex Kempster Understandably the best player over the course of the year, I imagine. Yep. Lopez, Nacelle, Moke, Burrow, McFarlane, Griffiths, and Tate all up there. Tate obviously not playing the most, but stepping in when necessary. Romano ended up on a 6.92 for a year, which isn't bad for a defender. Of course, 1 goal, but technically 3 because he had 2 incorrectly ruled out for offsides over the course of the year. I'm not over that. Kempster with the most goals, of course. McFarlane close behind. Lopez ended up with 18, despite the fact that he started scoring about halfway through the season. I had a very similar thing with Haaland, didn't I, in the Atletico save? I just remembered. Nacelle was 16 in the end. Good return from a midfield, actually. Moke 13 from the other side. Not quite as prolific as Kempster on the left-hand side. McLaughlin with 9, stepping in when, Kempster not available or in midfield sometimes, central midfield. Griffiths got 3, and then we're into sort of defender range of players who didn't really play a lot. So, in terms of minutes per goal, I have to scroll down for this one. Dan Maguire only played 1 match and scored twice, so he's got the best one. But McLaughlin for players who played a reasonable amount, but he was on penalties as well, so that's skewed that one. Burrow, technically the most goals per minute for any of our strikers, which is probably not great considering I didn't play him towards the end of the season, actually. Might have scored more if I'd actually played him. Oops. In terms of chances created, Griffiths on that right side actually did have a fairly good chance creation situation. Kempster did actually have a high number of assists, which I haven't actually shown you yet. 14 for Kempster, 8 for these guys, 7 for all of those. The fullbacks actually getting in on the action. 6 for Ferguson, 5 for Dyer, 7 for Griffiths. Spratt not that great, but that's in his stats actually. He doesn't have that good at crossing. In terms of pass completions, goalkeeper's the best, pressingly. In terms of defenders who actually played a lot of matches, Romano had a 92% tackle percentage. 2 tackles per game, apparently. Not that great. Heading accuracy, not amazing, actually. From anyone, I should say. 75%, 72%, not awful, about 4 per thing. Mistakes, though. Oh, I maybe shouldn't have played Ferguson. See, this is the problem. Ferguson was our best left-back, but he was also the worst left-back at the same time. 104 mistakes from Ferguson. Not great, is it? And considering we only played 1 goalie all season, 21 clean sheets from 56 appearances isn't a amazing return for Harry Wright, but 21 clean sheets, still pretty good, particularly in the division where it's fairly all in the air. So just to see then, actually, our odds to win the league narrowed quite dramatically towards the end of the season, as Kempster was overtaken, along with McFarlane. But Boom enters the equation for best defender in the league as well, so essentially a trade-off there. So next time round will be the transfer special, as I have acquired 4 players already. I suspect there'll be more incoming. Then, of course, there's the end of season award situation. Signing of the season, Lopez, young player of the season, Kempster 24. That seems a bit of a stretch, but all right. Season review, obviously fine. A new expectation as well. That's new. End of next season is just avoid relegation, actually. They still only want to be established Vanarama following next year, and then top half finish. I think we can do better than that. Well, I'll accept it because that's very much below my expectations. So I'm not going to faff around with that too much. End of season break, Ebbsfleet, and end of season team meeting. Now, they said they want to avoid relegation. I'm going to say mid-table. Too ambitious. But it says in division, okay, we'll avoid a relegation. How is that still too ambitious? Well, half of you are not going to be here anyway. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty much everyone on that list is still going to be here. We've literally just won a trophy by beating 3 teams in that division. How is that ambitious? In fact, we haven't lost against anyone in that division this year. We lost against Salford in the FA Cup, and we lost against two teams in our division. We did not lose to anyone in the Vanarama normal. Records, though, team records, I'm not sure how many of these have been reset just because of the game. Burnley relegated too, though, as well, with Newcastle. I think that might be the end of the news, though. So, join me next time round where we do have to fight in the Vanarama. Apparently, avoiding relegation is too much of an ask, but I think we'll be alright, especially with the additions that we shall be making. So until then, hurrah.